If you're experiencing discomfort when you urinate, your cup of coffee, hot sauce-drenched tacos, or some other food could be to blame. According to the National Kidney Foundation, 1 in 5 women will have at least one urinary tract infection (UTI) in her lifetime, 20% of them will have more than one. In fact, bladder infections result in nearly 10 million doctor's visits each year as women seek treatment for the pain, pressure, and constant urge to urinate. A bladder infection occurs when bacteria enter the urinary tract. The bacteria irritate the urinary tract, which often results in painful urination and even lower abdominal pain or cramping. Though certain antibiotics can treat a bladder infection, it's important to know the symptoms of a bladder infection to help your body heal, and to prevent further bladder irritation. Not everyone with a bladder infection has obvious symptoms. But according to the Mayo Clinic, common signs of a bladder infection may include the following. Blood in the urine that looks red, bright pink, or cola-colored, feeling of pressure or cramping in the lower abdomen, foul-smelling urine, kidney or bladder stones, low-grade fever or chills, pain during intercourse, passing frequent, small amounts of urine, pelvic pain, stinging or burning feeling when urinating, strong persistent need to urinate, urine that is cloudy. A bladder infection can be irritating and painful, but it can become a very serious health problem if the bacterial infection spreads to your kidneys. That's why understanding your body is important, and seeking treatment early on for bladder infections helps you manage the symptoms. Women are 10 times more likely than men to get bladder infections because they have a shorter urethra. In women, bacteria can reach the bladder faster because of the shorter distance. While being a woman puts you at greater risk for bladder infections, other risk factors that are common include abnormal urinary tract shape or function, certain types of contraception, particularly diaphragms with spermicidal agents, diabetes, genetic predisposition, bladder infections run in some families, postmenopausal. In postmenopausal women, altered hormone levels are linked to bladder infections. Pregnancy. Changes in a woman's hormones during pregnancy increase the risk of a bladder infection. Sexual activity. Bacteria is pushed into the urethra during intercourse. Also, having multiple sex partners increases the risk of bladder infections. Additionally, a number of common foods and drinks, artificial sweeteners, spicy foods, alcohol, coffee, acidic fruits, citrus, or caffeinated drinks, can irritate your bladder, and may worsen UTI symptoms, so you should steer clear of them if you have signs of a bladder infection. Take a break from coffee to ease bladder infection symptoms. Sure, your morning cup of Java perks you up, but it may also make your UTI symptoms act up again. Caffeine is known to irritate the bladder and worsen bladder infection symptoms. A study of people with interstitial cystitis, chronic inflammation of the bladder, found that people who drank coffee experienced worsened symptoms. Try a mug of non-caffeinated herbal tea to replace your morning coffee ritual until you are UTI-free. Can drinking alcohol cause a UTI? You may know that beer, wine, and liquor can irritate your stomach if you've got reflux or an ulcer, and alcohol can irritate the bladder, too, particularly if you have a bladder infection. Though you want to get plenty of fluids when you've got a UTI, it's important to avoid alcohol. So, take a hiatus from cocktails, at least while you're trying to flush out the bacteria and recover from a urinary tract infection. Skip citrusy or caffeinated sodas. Irritate the bladder. Sodas in general have been found to irritate the bladder in people with chronic bladder inflammation, and they could aggravate symptoms in someone with a bladder infection. Citrus-flavored sodas, think your favorite lemon-lime concoction, and caffeinated sodas are the culprits when it comes to worsening urinary tract infection symptoms. So, when you're struggling to overcome a bladder infection, stick to water or cranberry juice as your drink of choice. Acidic fruits can worsen symptoms of a bladder infection. Fruit may be an essential part of a healthy diet, but fruits containing a lot of acid can irritate the bladder, and worsen your UTI symptoms. So try to avoid lemons, oranges, grapefruits, and tomatoes when you're treating a UTI. Other fruits that may cause bladder irritation and worsen a urinary tract infection include apples, peaches, grapes, plums, strawberries, and pineapple. You should also steer clear of juices made from these fruits. Do spicy foods irritate a bladder infection? Whether you top your nachos with jalapenos, sprinkle your pizza with red pepper flakes, or love your curry chicken extra hot, you've got to skip the spice when you have a UTI. Spicy foods are known to irritate the bladder and worsen UTI symptoms, so cool down your meals and opt for blander choices to treat a urinary tract infection. Artificial sweeteners may worsen bladder symptoms when you're trying to cut calories at every corner. Artificial sweeteners may seem like a healthy replacement for sugar. But if you've got a urinary tract infection, it's possible that your bladder infection symptoms may worsen if you use artificial sweeteners. While one study found that artificial sweeteners worsened bladder symptoms in people with chronic interstitial cystitis, there's no real proof they irritate the bladder when you have a simple UTI. But if these fake sweeteners bother you, skip them.